now my pleasant duty and honor to declare this conference officially open.
ACU is the oldest, and as you will hear from Professor Toro, with 540 member universities in 38 countries, one of the largest international associations of universities in the world. Our mission is to promote and support excellence in higher education for the benefit of individuals and societies throughout the Commonwealth and beyond.
The conference we are holding today is that enhancing gender equity in leadership and management of higher education and course has come at the right time when higher education institutions in our country and the neighboring countries are grappling with transformational changes. But I dare say that the good government of Uhuru has done reasonably well in this direction. I don't think I'll be very popular with the ladies, but the fact is that there are now laws that we have to follow. And if I look at, for example, the student ratios in our own university, in professional courses like medicine, we are already at par. There are challenges in areas like engineering. So even though this is a good thing, for us we are already moving on. We are a little bit jealous of what because the women are taken over. Most of the ministers are not in matter, including my colleague, Minister in charge of health, is a lady, and many of the others. In Kenya today, it is criminal to forget women when they are hiring. And therefore, for us, we are already mainstream gender. I think Nicola is smiling a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that now, at this university in particular, before we employ, I, as the head of the university, must check and see the gender balance. And if two people have scored exactly the same way and we have less women, we shall check the women. And I cannot be asked.
They are now the women for senior education that they were before, and they should be encouraged to apply for senior positions. We have just advertised our positions for DDC. Women are not there. In fact, I want to get advertise because they are moving in Nairobi. If I go at those places to Kolabeni, you will not approve.
The swing in my west and the joy of my feet, 'cause I am a woman, phenomenal woman. That's me.
It is now my great pleasure and honor to be with you on this important occasion of the Association of Commonwealth Universities Conference on enhancing gender equity in the leadership and management of higher education. This is a significant conference for two reasons. Being held in Africa. What will this meeting be remembered for? Are there specific solutions that we shall remember? And it's not enough to have resolutions. Are we going to take action on those resolutions? And besides, circulate those resolutions. Those of us who are policy makers, opinion shapers.
Women have made some advances in taking up administrative positions, sort of middle management positions, such as personnel officers, public relations officers, international officers, equity and quality assurance, staff development, and to some extent even strategic planning.
They need to be integrated into the entire spectrum of disciplines and at all levels of administration, academia, students, and into the surrounding community. Include affirmative actions and ideally become the institutional culture. Institutions then need to enlist the help of both men and women and the institutional leadership in gender mainstreaming initiatives. They need to consider gender issues in their context, taking into account other intersections of institutional power and micropolitics, and anticipate possible backlashes.
Are the facilitators handbook, and I'll show you that in a minute. Introduction to gender mainstream and developing management skills. Those are the three that we're going to be looking at over this week in more detail. This is a Venn diagram which I think is at the heart of everything that we're going to be doing, and you might want to copy it down. It's about how professionals learn best, and it's about leadership in higher education.
How do you feel about the pedagogy of the activity that you are going to present? Cultural. Are you able to do or work this module as it is, or activity by activity standalone?
You are experts on other people's learning, either as lecturers or as administrators. Your daily task is about helping other people to learn. I want you to work through that questionnaire. Can you walk up, can you start trying to answer questions 1 to 80? Let me do one. That you need to put a circle round each of the questions you said yes to. Add up not the numbers, but the number of circles. And then plot it on there. What have you learned by doing this exercise? You are going to be working with people who touch all of those corners. What I find fascinating about each of these is you've got individuals who often are flat on activists, which is not surprising in the academy, is it? Most people working in the university would expect to be theorists. I tell you what, it's why we like administrators, because they sometimes offer it pragmatism and they make things work for us. Every group or team needs people touching all four bases. What do you know about the way theorists learn? What do they want you to tell them? The theory behind it all. How do you need to run a workshop that touches the base for the theorist? Let's actually have an active experience. So in a workshop, what do you need to do for them? Give them activities. Absolutely. We also teach the way that we learn best of all. I mean, especially academics, on the whole, like a good lecture, unless you fall asleep during it. And the thing about being an academic is, if you lecture, you feel as though you're in control. If you give it to the group to go away and work on, you feel you can't get them back, or they won't do, or you won't trust them to do it. This shows that there will be people who learn best if you let them go and do it. So all the workshopping you do needs to touch all those bases.
Well, if you get down to quality assurance in a group, probably because that is what I do most, I might become more active. Does that happen? I mean,
absolutely, and that's what I'm saying about as we get older, we're aware of what's missing and how to operate differently. And I think if you've got very, very young, and I don't think I'm being patronising, because I think it's one. Can you now, this is for the reflectors in the group, take a couple of minutes and think about what you got out of that exercise that you hadn't, that reminded you or that you didn't really know about before. Can you just make a note for yourself somewhere?
What are the issues that are being raised by this cartoon?
It's kind of like science related, scientific, and it's kind of like they're not putting the picture of a woman. So there's that attitude that it's of the men who are supposed to be scientific and all that.
The two researchers seems to have come in with certain preconceived notions about their research subject, that these critters are asexual, and then voila, the discovery that they are sexual after all. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here is what? The biggest point, as far as research methodology goes, as far as researching goes.
Scientific.
Scientific.
It's all about laboratory work and scientific.
Okay, the authority of scientific knowledge and researching, yes?
Gender is not scientific, therefore cannot be researched. I mean, it doesn't fit in the board.
We are training, on the other hand, we are training trainers, on the other hand, we are also, bringing all these three things together. So, for a while now, we have been just doing women and gender issues. We need to get into the professional learning bit and also the leadership in higher education bit. Okay? Selected groups will recommend ways and means of institutionalizing a consideration of gender in university research. Ensuring that research conducted at a university has a gender dimension. How can this be done? Who would you have to approach? What are the arguments that you would use?
On page 142.
Maytree, Jasper, Dorothy, our honorable participants, you and I, the organizers, that is the ACU, and Anne, Ase Achieng. Ladies and gentlemen, has been a short and concentrated journey that has brought us to this point. And when we came here, we all thought that we knew the issues surrounding gender mainstreaming, gender equality and equity, and all the other issues that have been brought home to us so clearly and so in such a profound manner that we were all touched in a different way. As we started, and came day by day, we found out, some of us found out that what we knew was just the tip of the iceberg, or maybe not much at all, or anything to amount to what we think is gender. I want to say thank you first of all to our facilitators. You have done a wonderful job. I think we've had a wonderful time. We have learned a lot. The length, the breadth and the depth of mainstreaming gender issues is really something that has come home to us in a very clear way. Thank you. To the organizers, the ACU, especially Dorothy, and the people who have been behind the scenes to bring the facilitators and ourselves together and to host us, the University of Nairobi, and all the things that have gone on. We want to give them a very special thanks. Do you want to gather flowers or how do you want to do it? We can sit. Gather the flowers from all the corners, all the places you came from. Bring them closer together.